most of y'all have already seen this here because this is our, so there's like three, let me backstep here when I want to say something. The sacred temples all had three chambers in them. There was the outer wall, the inner wall, and then the innermost wall, which protected the sacred of sacreds, which was the heart energy. So this is basically how we're built as well, because everything outside of us is also inside of us. So we have three layers to ourselves. So, you know, we have 7 chakras, but really in essence, we have 4. Because these, see how the circles connect the bottom? These are all yin, feminine. These are all yang. They're partners. They're not separate from one another. So it's not about, I'm going to climb up here and live in my higher brain, because you're totally out of balance. The whole idea is to bring your divinity into your body. I mean, that's what we're all really trying to heal in the long run. And, you know, biotheosis to me, in definition, is rectifying humanity with its forgotten divinity. We're all fucked up because we forgot who we really are. End of story. Genesis, we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We didn't get kicked out because the whole planet is the garden. You know.
That's a trip because in the.
And it's really cool that Microsoft 10 has this. You can draw. So, okay, so we have the bottom 3 chakras. Okay. They're masculine. So I put the pink there. And then the feminine is the upper 3 chakras. Sorry if I went a little off there, because they're supposed to, it's like an hourglass, right? Okay. And then you have the chakra system. You know, the chakra system, we're going to do this a little more simple. I'm not going to do all the colors. I'm just going to draw the circles. Let's just use this color. So we have root, second, third, fourth, heart. That's where we marry this. Throat, third eye, crown. Okay? That's who we are when we're not balanced. Okay? In essence, this is already happening. So the new information that's coming in regarding the energy field is that the energy field is a toroidal field. Okay? So see the same shape? Mm-hmm. That, my friends, is the Holy Grail, which is your heart. And what did the Holy Grail hold?
Well, the essence of Christ?
Christ's blood.
Oh, okay.
What holds your blood? Your heart.
Yeah.
So you have this toroidal field, and it's a cup, okay? That's always going on, okay? However, when we marry ourselves, the cool thing that happens, and everybody knows this symbol that I'm going to do next. Green's a good color. Let's do this. Whoa, that's much bigger than I thought. So what happens is, instead of the 2 points coming to meet each other in separation, what happens is that they overlap. They slide into one another, and so that's when you become that symbol of the Star of David. Right. But the marriage, but the marriage is what has to happen within yourself. You have to marry yourself with your forgotten divinity. End of story.
Christ heart-centered.
Yep. Okay. Second here. And another trippy thing here. I don't want to get too far sidetracked, but this is coming up for me, so I'm going to share it with you. So y'all know about 911, right? 9/11. Everything is symbolic. Right now, we're living in a world that's governed by 911. I mean, quite literally, people's consciousness and everything. But here's an interesting thing. What if I do 911 in Roman numerals? Kind of interesting look, right? Mm-hmm. Now let's just connect a few dots here. 911 is when we are imprisoned by emergencies that keep us from emerging into our divinity. Look how, so everybody, those of y'all that know about numerology, 9 is the number of what? Completion. What's the number 11? Master. Okay. There's something in between there, though.
Yeah.
There's something that goes between there. Why is that being marked out? Because the people that are not owning their mastery need other people to perform their functions for them. Christ didn't need anything or anyone else to perform miracles. However, you've got to own that. Okay? If you don't own that, you need other people to basically perform your function for you.
Whoa.
So with humanity, just like in the movie Matrix, you tie a bunch of people together, their cells, their little energy, and you make whatever you want to make happen. That's what's happening on a larger scale and a smaller scale in your life as well. But on a larger scale, what's happening as far as keeping humanity stuck. But the jig is up, and eventually we're going to break free of this. But be aware.
John, can I add to that?
Sure.
So what you just said about relying on other people to make sure your needs are met, that's where we are with the church as well, is relying on the church or God to meet our needs when God resides within us.
Right.
And that's the missing link.
Yeah. The main problem with the world is that we forgot that we were all sons and daughters of God, not just Christ. So look what happens when I put it's got chills. I haven't really done this for a group of any size. So look what happens when I add, I don't like that big marker, the number 10. Number 10 is an X, right? Okay. What kind of movies are out there right now? What's a popular theme?
X-Men.
X-Men, dude. X-Men and women. Who what? Are super fucking heroes, man. They have superpowers. When you put the X in there, what are we looking at?
The heart.
We're looking at this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to look at that.
Oh.
So we're just going to just mark it out. Okay? Don't pay attention to that step.
Only these people are.
Don't pay.
Had magical things happen to them. They're superheroes, not you. Like that.
Well, what happened? The movies are reflective of the collective, which means the collective is aware of this, and it is pulling that out into consciousness and reality. Okay, that's just the reality what's trying to be born versus what's being kept. You need to move into your 10ness. Okay, your 10 is the awareness that you are yourself a holy grail that has all the powers of Christ and God, because you are that. So 911 is trying to take that awareness out, which crumbles your field. And then what happens is the marriage doesn't happen. See the 10 in here? And then anybody can take your energy. If you don't realize that you're a divine being, then anybody can come along and take your energy.
I'm searching for the Holy Grail
forever.
forever.
Right. So that's that symbol.
Well, there you go.
One last thing here is an Egyptian, talking about Egyptian, the scarab in the wings here. I was like, I saw this in a class one time. These are the thalamuses. You have, your brain has duplicate everything left and right. And I was like, that looks weak. Huh. Wow, the beetles look a lot like that, right? And they knew about the brain because they were pulling it out of people's noses, right? They did when they embalmed somebody. They knew more about anatomy probably than we do today. So in mythology, the scarab would push the sun, which is this symbol. See this Kundalini energy coming out of it? Would push it around the earth. This is the corpus callosum. This is the thalamus. It's all in you again. So look at this picture here. These two pictures. Here is a drawing of the corpus callosum. See how it looks like a wing?
Whoa, dude.
And then here is it more anatomy-wise. So the wings on top of the medical staff or your corpus callosum, and those don't get activated until your 666 is a 9. And one last thing I want to add to that as it's streaming through me is just the energy of numbers. I'll show you something. Okay, this is 6. This is 9. Okay. The 6, the energy is located mostly in the lower chakra system. The 9 is it is rising above. And of course, the whole thing is to be that way, because 69 creates this symbol.
Huh.
It's also the symbol of Cancer.
Indeed, indeed. And where does that energy reside, Cancer?
It's water, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
water.
There's a body part relationship to it.
To Cancer? I don't know. I just know it's my north node, so it's a big deal to me right now. And I'm in the year of 10. I started that with my birthday this year, the year of 10. So this is all making sense to me.
Cool. So another cool thing here, Lindsay, is that, let me move this. So, wow, there's so much we can go into here. I'm trying to keep it short. So, where's my draw? So this is the sternum. This is your rib cage. This is your Thor. Yes. Also, Cancer is all about this area, which is where the marriage happens. Right. 69. It's another reference to that connection, right? And we've also heard it as far as, in sexual terms, male and female, right? So again, it's all pointing to this spot where your mighty hammer and power is in your Thor axe. Cool stuff.
Wow.
So this is the thing that Leanne and I came across. Air element. So guess what element governs the heart chakra at the center? The air element. Okay. So here we have a four-sided pyramid, like the Pyramid of Giza, butt to butt. Okay. So you have energy going out top, energy going out the bottom. So there's a symbol that I didn't include here, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with y'all now, which is, to me, is the symbolism of the Christ-hearted center energy. Oops.
It's the center of the Merkaba.
Yeah. So, okay, what I showed you here with the 911, you know, cutting out the Merkaba in this part here. Everybody talks about Merkaba. Oh, the Merkaba is around the body. That's not near as damn important as what's in the center of the Merkaba, okay? Because that's the generator for the whole thing. And what's inside that, the symbolism for that, which is our symbolism for that is, and I've actually made this in 3D too. Whoops, tried to draw. Let me add this. I'm gonna add green since that is the energy. So it is spiraling in. Whoops, start over there. A little bit different writing on this computer screen. So spiraling up. It's a double infinity and spiraling out. So what that does is actually, this is the pattern that's inside the octahedron. Okay? So if you were looking at it from, let me see if I can give you a better picture of that. If you were looking at it from a different angle, I'm adding all kinds of stuff to this thing. Okay. See if I can pull this off. My brain can think 3D. So here is the octahedron, or a representation of it. The Christ heart energy that is activated once all this is going, of course, is the spiral energy coming into the point, right? Right, exactly. A filament, dude. A spiral up and down, right? And then the energy in the center is it infinity going to the opposite corners, and then infinity going to those corners. So it's a cross when you're looking down on top of it. All right. So that is
it's the absolute center of the Merkaba if you're looking up from the bottom of it.
Yeah. So this, let me do one more thing. Tie it all together since I already add all these features about it. So let's add
Where did the 3 X's come from, John?
the 10 in the middle, babe. That's the number that no one talks about.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
That's the marriage, right? And the center part is the most important, okay? So, go ahead, what are you going to say?
Nothing.
Of course, this is all 3D.
Right.
So, no, I'm going to do something. Oh, shrink this a little bit. Give me a little more space. All right, so what happens automatically once everything's balanced, and this is once everything's balanced, or this energy pattern doesn't maintain itself, it'll fall apart, is you have the spiraling in and out on both ends, and then you have the energy coming in and creating that double infinity, which is the space where all time, there's no time there.
That's your inner being. That's you.
That is the center of a black hole, is what that is.
Is that us? Is that you?
Yeah,
Is
it's everything. I mean, because this is how huge it is, because at the center of our galaxy is a black hole. Okay? So let's bring it a little more home here. And this imagery will make sense because we're going to tie it all together. So we have I'm just going with what's showing up here. Still going to get to it all. So we live in a spiral galaxy that's flat on one edge, right? Okay. Yeah, Chokurei, exactly. Actually, it's a swastika. Because,
that's fun.
No, because what happened is, okay, here's a symbol, right? It means something different when you turn it upside down. The Indians are the first ones that had the swastika, which is a spiral. It's a spiral galaxy is what it represents. However, Hitler turned it a different direction, okay? When it spins one way, it throws light out. When it spins another way, it eats light, okay? Symbolism is extremely powerful. These people knew that. You know, Hitler had so much esoteric going on, you'd be amazed. He was basically so into esoteric. I had pictures of him being in India. He knew all this shit. So, okay, and so at the center of our solar system is the same makeup as us.
And so he just used it for evil?
He just used it for the way, yeah, he was geared. So it's another fractal. It's a fractal. That's the big picture. But ultimately, we're the same way. We have the same energy field, and we have an inertia field coming out of our heart. Okay? Everything is spiraling out from our heart. And then what happens is when it spirals out from the heart, our thoughts and our feelings coming out from the center of our heart chakra, it comes back on us in our energy field. Okay? And this little spot right here, this is called the event horizon. So whatever we're throwing out will come back to us as events on our horizon. It's also the halo that was above Jesus, which is above all of us. Okay, so an easy symbol without having to remember all that Hanshanze shown it is simply the octahedron. Okay? Which is who then? You know, who are you really healing? Yourself.
And it's instantaneous. It can be absolutely instantaneous.
Right. And then from there, once you turn into that center of the galaxy, which is a black hole, then from there you begin to spiral out what you just created into reality. Okay? That's the Dakyom Yo part. Mastering, saying, I've already got the vibration. I am it. So think about this. In a universe setting, which your body is the exact same thing, does anything come into the universe to give it something, or does it all come from the center of them? I mean, is the universe pulling on another universe, or is this universe, everything that's in this universe, or everything that needs to be needed in this universe comes from the center of it? Nothing's coming to it from the outside. It's being generated from the inside. So to me, this is the next level of understanding, because it actually trumps the concept of the secret. The secret is, like attracts like. There is no attraction. You are it. You simply tune into what you choose to have and be, and it will be in you, period. There is no attraction of it. It's coming from the inside of you. So if anything, you're matching the vibration of that which you want in the story. You're not trying to bring it into your life. You're simply matching the vibration of it. And life is telling you whether you're in vibration with, say, love and abundance, and it shows you when you're not. So the only thing we need to do is work on how well can I be in balance with that thing that I'm choosing to have in the story.
One more thing I want to add to that. As a dynamic of what has been discovered in this last year in space-time, we have for the first time put our sights on a black hole and photographed it. The first image that ever came back rocked me to the core, because when the whole rest of the world was perceiving this as an outside looking in, I thought, oh my God, I'm on the inside looking out.
Yep.
And if you change your perception to we are in the inside of that black hole, looking out to that event horizon, to the outside, the infinite possibilities are endless. And that is what the whole point is. We're not looking at shrinking our reality to an infinitesimal. We're looking
Kind of breaking up.
at expanding our reality to infinity, seeing, looking out.
Right. Yep. So when you're in that space, you are a master. And the whole thing is that we wobble, and that's okay, because the journey is bringing us back to our divinity. But the more that we hear it, the more that we see it, the more we realize it. Everything in my life, I created. I 100% know without a zero shadow of a doubt that I am creating everything in my life, which number one takes me to the aspect of responsibility and authorship.
Even the really shitty, crappy parts of it.
Yeah, because that's teaching you how to upgrade, just like Abraham Hicks talks about. Contrast is what causes you to grow. You're like, this sucks. Okay, cool. I created this. Now I'm going to create something different. So, yeah.
It's the Wu Wei.
Wu Wei.
Well, I mean, I keep saying, Christ said, I don't know. I mean, even if you go to the Bible, you can read that Christ said repeatedly, hey, this isn't just me. You can do this too.
Right.
I mean, it's our lack of understanding that, and I guess it's the lack of ever being. I mean, I was told that as a child. I mean,
yes, Julie, over and over and over, the Bible says that over and over, that Christ is the way, and He is not the source. He is not God. He is not the one to be worshipped. He does not want to be worshipped. He is only teaching you how to get to source, and that you can do it on your own, just as He did. It's over and over, and I love that, and I think that's what Reiki epitomizes, is that it's teaching us how to exactly do what Jesus did, and
So-
master it.
Yeah.
So another example of what y'all are saying is you're like so within reach of your mastery. However, false teachings come in, or a middle person between you and your divinity. It ain't going to happen because you have to go direct. Number 10 is what? In numerology, what does that become?
The end of the cycle.
It's the beginning of a new
Oh,
cycle.
It's the one.
It's the one. You are the one, Neo. Come on. No, yeah, joke, but true. You are the one. And until you own that, you will never be mastery, and hence you'll be stuck on the Buddhist wheel of life and death until you do get it. And that's okay.
I feel like 10 is also like, I mean, it's a new cycle, but the way I see it is like spiraling. It's a new level because it's double digits and it's one.
Yeah, totally. Because we're saying the same thing, Lindsay, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the ownership happens, which takes you to a whole new level of 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because everything is layered. But until we break through the 1 through 9, then like Buddha said, we're stuck on the wheel of life and death. Once you own your mastery, you're moving into an entirely different realm.
But what's cool about that is you never have to start back at 0.
Right.
So
amen to that.
And it's really funny that you say that, because every single time I come to a 9 year, I call it the non-year. And in that, it's like the year that doesn't exist. I'm not really in my decade, and I'm anticipating the next. And so I'm in this 0 point field of non-ness. I'm in the non-year.
Well, what's interesting, I'm going to kind of do one more thing regarding that, because you brought up something interesting. Leanne, I'm going to show that really quick. Okay, so 9 is a mystical number, okay? You see it everywhere. The mala, let me blow this up. The mala, which is the necklace that relates to the Buddhists, there's 108 beads, right? Equals a 9. Mm-hmm. Similarly, the rosary doesn't have 109, but it still comes out to 9. I forget the number off the top of my head. But here's the cool thing about 9. 9 is mystical in that it's invisible. This is why when you go to buy something, they do this.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, it's $10. No, it's $11.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
You know what I mean? it's because they know these tricks. Okay. So here's a fun thing. I'm going to give you. So, what number would this be in numerology?
2.
Good. How did you do that?
I counted and reduced them.
That fast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was pretty fast.
That was
not even.
That was pretty fast. I was going to be like, okay, here's a stronger way. All right, so watch this. Okay, this is just a quick little fun thing. So you said 2, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the right answer. What do 4 and 5 make? 9, and then another 9. See how they're invisible? Mm-hmm. The 2 is the only thing that's left.
Huh.
All right. Uh-huh. So yeah, I knew the answer 2 instantly, but you did it pretty damn fast. All right, so let's try another one. So what's that numerology?
7.
7, yeah. But again, I knew that right out because don't count the 9s.
Oh. Okay, I get it.
So,
I see it. Do another one.
All right, one more. All right, let me make it kind of big.
5.
Dude, you're faster than me. Yeah, all you do is you take away the 9 and you get the same answer. So 7 plus 8 is 15, 16, 17, 18.
6 and 6 is 12.
12. Okay, yep. 14, 5. Wait, 14. Then, so that's the kind of thing that 9 does. It's like in numerology, it is like it's there, but it's so mystical that it disappears. So 9 is that level where the 666 unifies, which is your higher brain coming into full alignment, and shit gets really like, whoa, talk about things being physical and non-physical, right? So the more we practice in our mastery, and one of the ways that Leanne and I have played with is finding this here, which is the whole thing, then the more you're in that space, the more you anchor yourself, number one, and then things become more and more illogical or like quantum level, you know. So this is like, okay, so this is an add-on. What you saw previous to this little clip was from December 18th, 2019 class, and this is just adding a little bit to that whole thing to bring the whole aspect about Christ in a little bit more so that it can be understood more deeply. So to recap, we have the Octahedron, this is one of Plato's solids, the Platonic solids, and this is air, the air element. It's in the center of the heart. The heart chakra is associated with the air element. So this is like a green emerald gem, if you will. And you'll remember we talked about the Christ energy, which is the same energy that is in the center of a black hole, is this energy that spirals up from the bottom in, circulates to all corners, and then spirals back out. It's completely self-generating. It's the space of no time, no place. Like I said, that's why I think the Han Shanzei Shonin completely relates to it. So in this Christ space, I want to explain it a little bit more because it actually does have the energy of Christ, and we're going to just take it a little bit further, the information anyway. So, oops. Get back up to it. Click above it, scoot it down a little bit. So I'm going to bring this in really, really, to me, on a deep level as far as the marrying of self. So this, what I'm drawing now, is an ancient symbol of Christ, okay? But symbolism is not about 2D things, it's about 3D, 4D, 5D. And to me, when we talk about something or someone being 4D or 5D or 6D or even 12D, we're talking about the angles from which they can perceive something. In other words, like people in group or people that are drawn to this video and are interested in these types of things, you're more than just 3D because you're looking at the bigger and bigger picture. And the more you see it, the more you understand it. You can hold all these different dimensions and aspects of something together at once. Like the liver is the physical organ, but it relates to the liver meridian, and that relates to bioproduction, and that relates to cleansing the blood, keeping toxins out of the body, governs the Wei Qi, which is like the atmosphere around the earth of our body, and on and on. So there's many aspects, and the more you can hold that when you're talking about a subject, you can bring it into more totality in a way that can be addressed, played with, and shifted in a strong way. So let's take the octahedron that I showed you and take it a little bit deeper, because this is the symbol for Christ. It's one of the old ones, and it is, I'm just going to type it here, Chi Ro, which is interesting because the Chi as in energy, right? And another thing about this is that it is the symbol, bring this in, I'll click this again. So this is an asterisk, right? Asterisk means little star, aka the little sun, or SUN. So again, this is pointing to a deeper and deeper aspect of all of us, okay? So here we have the symbol for Christ, the asterisk, and the asterisk is actually the very center of the octahedron that we were just looking at earlier. So here you have the octahedron, 8-sided, basically 2 pyramids, 4-sided pyramids, butt to butt, and I'm going to draw it side by side so you can see it to really bring it home. That we're not just talking about these things esoterically, that there is a tangible reference to this. So here is the Christ symbol. Whoop, I want to redo that. Do that a little bit better. Draw. So here's the asterisk, right? But here's the cool thing. Like I said, it's not just 2D. It is more 3D. So when I connect the dots on this asterisk, when I go boop, 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 this, and this, it is the exact center. And this line would not be seen from behind, so I'm just going to kind of dot it, as are these little lines in the back, like this. And what you see here is that this little structure that really is the Christ energy, your star being self, the asterisk, because you are that little creator, inside of this octahedron, which is the octahedron is the heart of the Merkaba. The Merkaba, all you do to create a Merkaba is you take 3-sided pyramids and put them on each of these 8 sides and you get the Merkaba. So inside of the Merkaba, the heart of the Merkaba is the octahedron, which is the heart of your chakra system, which is the vortex to access no space, no time, and actually everything in reality. And another interesting symbolism here, because symbolism after symbolism after symbolism, there's so many overlaps. So I'm going to draw this so you can really see it in red. If you connect these dots again in a very specific way, you get the star. The star of Bethlehem. That energy is inside of you. You're a star being. And this star being, this Christ itself, is within you. So when they talk about Christ knocking on the door, the trippy part is Christ is not knocking on the door to come in. He's knocking on your heart to come out. That is true power when you plug into that. You unlock this Christed self within you. Christ is the first 5 letters of the word. 5 letters of the word christen. Christen to your divinity. Crowned and christened, Christed to your higher self, which we all are brothers and sisters of this divinity. We are created by divine source, by divine design, which is so amazing everywhere. The design is everywhere. We're swimming in God's design, and we are God's design at the same time. So I just wanted to bring the Christ aspect even deeper, that the symbolism of Christ is in the center of the octahedron, which is the center of the octahedron, which is the center of the Merkaba. So the Merkaba is just the surface of what's really going on at the core. And this star self, this Christed self that is knocking on the door of our heart to come out through our heart, is who we really are. So, I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit of information of 911, Christ, and everything else, and how it all blends together for me more and more. So, peace out. Talk to y'all later.